What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the TF Movie Show. This is just a web series where we're talking about the Transformers live-action movie franchise, episode number 25. And in this episode, we're going to talk about the last two Bumblebee trailers that came out recently. They were released when I was out in Iceland, and I wasn't able to do a trailer review for them. So I'm just going to do them both in this video right here because there's a lot to talk about. And I'm just going to talk about key scenes. I'm not going to talk about like the entire trailer, just specific scenes that really caught my eye. So we're going to start off with trailer 2. Let's just start with the very first the very second trailer. And I want to start off with this shot where Bumblebee transforms. He reveals his hand. It's a close-up shot of his hand, and I just love the detail that's there. I mean, look at these like little parts, the hinges, even though this little like wheel here. That's detail. I love that. And when I see things like that, it really just shows you that they're really putting the work in. Look at the imperfections on the metal. Very cool. Bumblebee standing in front of Charlie Watson. And this is a shot where he's just like waving hi to her. So that's something we haven't seen in the trailer. And I love the lighting in this scene. It just doesn't feel like the Michael Bay movies where it's like everything's so glossy and shiny. You really see how it really fits in. Bumblebee's character really fits in the scene so much more. Here's Bumblebee walking in the forest with Charlie Watson. I guess this might be a scene separate from the scene where he's running away from a military fire, because I believe that in that scene he's got the Jeep mode, his second alt mode on. And then see, like I said right here, he's got the different mode. He's being shot at, but he's got the Jeep chest, right? So that's really cool. And he's being shot at. He's running away from all the firepower. This is a funny scene where this is the scene where they're at the beach, and then Bumblebee's interacting with her and like physically, and she's like rubbing her hair, and then it's just a very, very cute scene. Now this is cool. This is where we meet the two Decepticons. These are the main Decepticons in the movie, Shatter and Dropkick, and they're just transforming from their aircraft mode to their vehicle modes, and it's such a smooth transition. They're talking to John Cena's character, and look at the detail on these characters. They're cars, but you can obviously see jet and helicopter parts on them. And here's, like I said again, with Bumblebee, I love the lighting on them. They're not shiny. They look weathered. They look dusty. And they just look good and more realistic than some of the Transformers that we've seen in the Michael Bay movies. The CG is much better now. And in this shot, it's the same scene, but then you see Shatter's wings are fully extended. Before they were short, but now they're fully extended. And here's Cybertron, just as you remembered in the 1986 movie. Look at Cybertron. It doesn't look like the way Cybertron was depicted in Dark of the Moon, as well as the first Transformers, as well as The Last Night. It looks very different, and it looks like G1 Cybertron. And something's being shot out. I don't believe that that's Bumblebee's pod. It might be the Decepticons pod. This is a car that's about to get totaled. I guess the pod that was coming out of Cybertron eventually lands on it. Boom! Oh man, it's like Armageddon. Maybe that's like a nod to Michael Bay. There is Charlie Watson and Bumblebee looking over the Golden Gate Bridge. Very, very cool scene. Bumblebee's face. Look at the detail. Looks really good. And here is Charlie Watson getting out of Bumblebee, and what's really great is that I love the smooth transformation. It's so casual. Like, she's obviously very used to Bumblebee by now that she can just walk out of the car and walk away without looking like being mesmerized by the transformation. But the transformation is beautiful. I love it. It's so smooth. Bumblebee's got some weapons on hand. He's in his Jeep mode, which is a more aggressive mode for him. It looks like his attack mode, and he's got like a blade, and he uses it to I don't know why he's chopping down trees, but he does do it. You don't actually see the trees come down, but he does slice them. Now this is where it gets interesting. Now this is where like I instantly forgot about the Michael Bay movies when I was watching this. It just feels like everything's been retconned, and by that I mean like they're in the same universe, but they've forgotten about the things that we weren't a big fan of in the same franchise. And that is, well, we have a Shockwave-looking Shockwave. A Shockwave that actually looks like Shockwave. And you can see inspirations from War and Fall of Cybertron there, which is amazing. On the left, I believe that's a Shatter. Shatter, we'll see later on in Earth mode. And then we have the Seekers here. That looks like Starscream in the middle. I believe that's Skywarp on the right. And on the left could be Acid Storm, you know, the Green Seeker. So I hope they're referred to by names. Otherwise, we're just going to have to guess. And I think our guesses are pretty good, though. You can see other characters in the background if you pay close attention. But they're out there. And see, there's one. It's a Tetrajet. It's, you know, the Cybertronian Seekers. They have their modes. So there he is in the background. And there you have it. And Shockwave is showing off his big gun like he does have as a toy and in the cartoon. Let's check out some other shots. Oh yeah, this is cool. The Tetrajets are just like flying through Cybertron, and they're going after. It looks like they're shooting at Optimus Prime in the very far distance. But as this scene progresses, you realize how many more robots there are. I mean, there are 3 or 4 Tetrajets out there, and then on the side, on these buildings, there's other robots shooting at whatever this character is over there. But I just love that this is the Cybertron that we remember. These are the Cybertronian forms that we remember, and this is the war that we've seen from War and Fall of Cybertron. So they're really, really like sticking to that, and I'm so glad. There's Bumblebee with his gun, and this is like full-on attack mode, and he's not in his Jeep mode, but he's still able to pull out big guns like that. He's got his battle mask on. This is a scene that, like, as the trailer was playing, it was playing a lot of like Earth scenes, and mostly Earth scenes. Then suddenly they throw in this Cybertron scene. This is a Fall of Cybertron scene, and you see this giant building tumbling down, and I'm not sure who the Seeker is. But what's really cool is that you see Shatter jump off this, I don't know what this is, and then transforms into a jet, and then he's got his guns pointed straight at, I believe that's Charlie Watson in a helicopter. So this could probably lead to the scene where Bumblebee is trying to save that helicopter from fully crashing down in the first trailer, the teaser trailer. Following that, we see Starscream, aka Blitzwing, grab Bumblebee by the neck, and then he flies, and then he's dragging Bumblebee on the ground. And another scene here, this might be even the end of the movie, where Bumblebee and Charlie Watson are lying down. The battle's over, so they're just lying down, and the military's like, hey, secure them or whatever. Oh, here is a scene. Now, this is a great scene. This is where Bumblebee goes up against Dropkick. This might be the end of Dropkick, because, like, I'm sure some of the Decepticons gotta, you know, die. And then he just jumps, lunges at him, and then this amazing money shot happens, where Charlie Watson is running away but in the background there's a battle going on, and a lot of hits and combos are happening in a single take. And it just looks amazing. This is like one of those Michael Bay moments where, like, it's just an amazing scene. But what's even cooler is this. Optimus Prime's hologram. Optimus Prime, just as you remember him in G1. Exactly the way he looks in G1. The curious thing about him is that why does he look like a truck? Why does he look like he's got truck parts on him? But are those really truck parts, or are they Cybertronian truck parts? It's probably the latter. Anyways, this is the last scene I want to share with you guys. Bumblebee doing a crazy, crazy stunt in mid-vehicle mode. Now, I believe he's doing this because he's got human passengers inside. That's why he doesn't look fully transformed into robot modes. Otherwise, the passengers would get crushed. So therefore, he's doing a move where he's trying to get away from the cops. You have passengers in there, and then he lands while still in mid-vehicle mode / truck mode. I mean, robot / vehicle mode. So that way he can land on his feet and then eventually land back as a vehicle. So that's why he did that. And it's just a really cool scene. And there you have it. Perhaps that vehicle, that police car's barricade? Police car? I don't know. Probably not. Anyways, yeah. So that's trailer 2. Now I'm going to take a look at the international trailer, which, if you don't already know, the international trailer is an international trailer because is less story driven. It's more visually driven. The one that I saw was a Chinese trailer because it had Chinese subtitles on it. But no matter what country you're watching it from, it's still the same trailer. But the reason why they have to make these ones is because it has to jump right in the middle of the action. That way, suddenly you're hooked onto this trailer. You don't have to know about the story, because if it's just starts off with story, it might not have your attention, especially since it's in a different language. It's in English, whereas the international locations, they might not understand it. So that's why they jump right into the action, and that's what we get to see. That's what we're treated to at the beginning of this trailer. We get treated to this big scene where a Blitzwing is about to attack Bumblebee. And then he transforms into his Starscream mode. And look at that transformation. Look at all those panels open up. You can see all the lines there. And then, that's Starscream right there. Grabs Bumblebee by the neck. And then he just drops him. But like right before he does that, he opens up his arm cannon. And then blasts him. And then he goes, "Where is Optimus Prime?" So Optimus Prime is obviously somebody that they're looking for, because they probably want to kill him, or he has something, but Bumblebee obviously has information to that, so he's like a fugitive, or at least that's what they're classifying him as. But I love this shot here where like it's a Decepticon going face to face with a Autobot. Then he just drops him, because like Bumblebee's obviously very weak at this point, so that's it for Bumblebee. And then he's falling, and then he just crashes on the ground, and he's just about to lose everything. And then he scans. He doesn't like the mode here. He doesn't like the Winnebago, the recreational vehicle. Doesn't like the Volkswagen bus, but he likes the Volkswagen Bug. So that's the last thing he sees before he loses memory. And then he meets Charlie Watson, transforms, and then they meet each other for the first time. It's a tender moment, and then they. I guess they get to know each other on the beach, and then she throws a scenario at him. What are you gonna do? And then he just hides by sticking his head in the sand, which really it's a really charming moment. It's funny, and it also shows you the innocence about their relationship. So it's a really fun scene. Now they're walking in the forest, and then now you see Optimus Prime, and it's talking about a war. Charlie Watson is very curious about this war, and she's like, did you mention war? And then it shows Cybertron, just as we remembered in the cartoons, in the video game. That's Cybertron, but it's got a big war going on. As you can see, a lot of lasers shooting all over the place. And then what's really crazy is that you see Optimus Prime throwing down against Thundercracker. And, I was talking about truck parts earlier, but if you pay close attention to his leg it's got a lot of parts to it, and it really doesn't look like Earth parts. Like, these are Cybertronian parts, but it doesn't look like, truck parts where you see the wheels there and you see the truck panels and the vents. It's not like that. So he has a Cybertronian mode. It just looks like truck parts, but really it isn't. So they're very clever in that, the way they designed him. Anyway, this Optimus Prime, this is a very clear look at him. And he's got this big gun. I love the Autobot logo on his shoulder. I love the way he looks. And he's just looking up as the Seekers just fly away. Maybe this is like the moment where he wished he was able to shoot them down, because maybe they're up to no good. But now we see the Seekers on Earth. We got a helicopter. I believe that's a Cobra. And then we have this jet. I'm not sure what it is. But what's also in the distance is that we see two other vehicles here. You see the two vehicles on the road, creating a lot of dust. So I believe that this scene is where they scan these two vehicles while being able to retain their aircraft modes, thus making them triple changers. So they scan these modes, these vehicles. They are able to get those modes. And then they're able to go into this next scene where they are about to land, but the way they land is as vehicles. So very, very cool. But what's really interesting about the scene is that as soon as they're done getting those vehicles, they land as vehicles, but then they transform right away back to robots. So you see two transformations in the same shot, which is pretty amazing. And who they're about to meet is these military types. I guess this is the beginning of Nest. This is the early stages of Nest, and they are still quite unsure of like what these things are. Good guys, bad guys, they don't know. They don't care. They just know that these things are NBEs and they are potential threats. So there they are. There's Dropkick and Javelin. Dropkick and Shatter transforming, talking, presenting the hologram of Bumblebee, mentioning to them that this is a fugitive and we're not going to bring the war to you if you hand him over. So that's why the humans are going after Bumblebee, but they don't realize that he's a good guy. That's why he's on the run over here. The run has taken place from the forest all the way to this open land, and that looks like that's where this big fight is going to take place. And here's a close-up shot of their faces. Look at the detail on them. And here's a big fight between Nest and Bumblebee. This takes place in the evening, and it takes place in what looks like a shipyard. But what's very interesting is that they've been fighting for a long time. I mean, they've been chasing him down in the forest. They've been chasing them down even at night. Now they're at the shipyard. So how long does it take for them to realize that, hey, we're on the same side here? Here's Blitzwing going up against Bumblebee again. We've seen this. He gives him a big kick to the face. And then Bumblebee is about to lunge at him with a knife, but then just misses as he gets away. Looks like it's going to be a really great fight. Now, this is what blew my mind. I'm thinking to myself, how can this possibly happen? Like, how can this happen? How could they have Soundwave looking like the way he does when he looks like what he looks like in the Michael Bay movies? So that's why I'm saying, like, they totally retconned this, and I'm okay with it. I'm down with that. In fact, I love that idea. I love the way Soundwave looks, and they can keep it. And I don't care that if they explain it or not. They don't even need to make an explanation because I could care less. So this is awesome. And not only do we have Soundwave looking like the way he looks, but Ravage gets ejected. He's not a cassette, but he's a rectangle, and he's Soundwave's minion, and he gets ejected. Look at that Decepticon logo on him. I love the paint job. It's like white and black. He's a Cybertronian Jaguar, and he's just about to lunge at Optimus Prime, and then Optimus, I don't know, kicks him or smacks him, and then he gets thrown back. But look at the guns on Ravage, like those hip cannons. Ravage has hip cannons. Like, look at that. That's awesome. Look at that detail. Lands on his back, and I'm excited for the Cybertron scenes. Here's Bumblebee and Charlie Watson. Looks like the end of the battle. And Bumblebee just flying away, jumping off into the distance. And then we're back to this scene here. And I believe that he's going up against, that's Dropkick? Yeah, that should be Dropkick. I don't see a pilot in there. And he's just throwing a rope at it. And then that's that. And then here's some house scenes where Bumblebee just completely destroys the house. I want to see this scene play out. I want to see how, Bumblebee just destroys everything, and then the parents come in and they're like, what the hell? Maybe we won't even see that. Maybe they're on vacation and he's going to have some major explaining to do. But like, I love scenes like this because it just creates for like these awkward moments where where Transformers are interacting in human environments. And like, I love that scene where, the Autobots are at Sam Witwicky's house. Some people don't like it. They think it's awkward and stupid. But I love it because it's them being robots in disguise and trying to interact in environments that they're not familiar with. So this is how Bumblebee deals with it. He cowers to his vehicle mode, and he's a robot in disguise. And it's just a funny scene. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got to say. This is my review of Trailer 2 and also the international trailer. I did not expect all the Cybertron scenes. I knew we were going to see Cybertron. I knew that Travis Knight said that the Cybertronian scenes are going to be cool. I just didn't know we were going to see all those characters. I mean, that's a lot of characters that we know and recognize from the cartoons. So I'm really blown away, and my expectations for this film are right back up. Because there was a time when I wasn't I was excited about it, but I wasn't like overly excited just because of how I felt about the last night. Now I'm really excited. Now I do know that Cybertron scenes isn't going to take up the entire movie. I wouldn't mind, but I know that this is more about Bumblebee on Earth. But it's going to be prefaced or with a substantial amount of Cybertron scenes, and I think that's good enough for me. As long as I get to see that, as long as I get to see the war, I'm down. I'm really excited about that, and that's all I gotta say in this episode. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments section below, and I'm looking forward to that final trailer, which is coming out probably in December or late November. I wonder what more are they going to show us. Hopefully not too much that spoils everything, but I'd still like to see more because you had my curiosity, now you have my attention. You always did. Anyways, as always, if you enjoyed this review, you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Oxy. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.